bowing out of the World Cup after a goal galore. But we'll be letting you know more of the up progresses. Good morning and welcome to Sport Recap on Hughes TV. I am Ainan Luben.
Yes, what an interesting line of games we saw with two heavyweights in football, Belgium and Germany, going out of the competition. No one saw that anyway. I am Daniel Obasi, and together we will be dishing out the sports stories in the ever busy world of sport.
All right, quickly beginning from the local scene, Minister of Sports Sunday Dari has said some of the athletes that will represent Nigeria at the 2024 Olympics in Paris will be discovered at the ongoing National Sports Festival in Asaba. Yes, this was contained in a statement signed by Manga Mohammed, Director of Media and Public Relations in the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. He said his focus for the next 10 days was to discover talents to deploy into the national teams for the next Olympics, scheduled for France 2024. And now, what do you say about this? Is it going to be possible?
It's a good call. I think we're starting off very early. We're beginning to catch them very young, and which is a very interesting thing for these athletes now that we can progress next year. Early preparations, early camping, and hopefully we can get. We saw what we did this year, World Championships. We saw what we did at the Commonwealth Games. So I think early preparation is key, and I think I buy into what the minister has actually said.
Alright then, moving away to cricket now. Group A of the ICC World Cup qualifier started in Kigali, Rwanda on Thursday, and it was a good outing for Nigeria's Yellow Greens. The fixtures of the competition were released on Wednesday after the technical meetings, and Nigeria was pitched against the highly rated Mozambique side. The game played at the Gahanga Cricket Oval in Kigali witnessed fierce contest between both teams, but it was the Yellow Greens of Nigeria that eventually carried the day. The Yellow Greens won by 8 wickets after 87 overs 2, and of course the Nigerian side will now confront Sierra Leone in their second game today at the same venue.
I think it goes back to what I said earlier. Early preparations is key, and it is beginning to yield fruit. We saw them camp in Ibadan. They later went on to Zimbabwe, and from Zimbabwe to come so deep in terms of development. And I'm not surprised going for an Ivorian. They are showing that they are ready for the next season. And I want to see. I'm hoping that Van Dresser can one day come to the NPFL, because this team has one of the best facilities when it comes to Nigeria.
The World Cup in Qatar, the Super Eagles have moved up in the latest financial rankings of national teams. The three-time African champions are ranked the 15th most valuable international team on the continent. The Eagles boast players who ply their trades in Europe's lucrative leagues, making them one of the most valuable teams with a total value of £303.35 million. In October, they were placed 24th in the world with a team value of £229.50 million.
I think it shows how much the rankings are being are coming out, and also we're seeing how far the value is increasing. Yes, we missed out of the World Cup, and it shows why we even have this is the fact that most of our players play in the foreign league, and then as they move from one club to other, Victor Osimhen is even the one that's actually made this the list even
more beautiful.
Yes, yeah, more beautiful, because when he moved to Napoli, you would agree with me that there was a big chunk of money paid for this Nigerian, and so this is why we are having, and then some other shifts of Nigerian players. But it's a good one, but I do not want us to dwell on the fact that this is what our squad boost up. We have 345 for 3 million euros and all. No, we want to see them play at the biggest stage where we're currently seeing actions in the World Cup.
Alright, still talking about football in the World Cup now in proper. Morocco were able to clinch a spot in the last 16 of the World Cup for the first time since 1986 by defeating the already eliminating Cadidias 2-1 on Thursday and capitalizing on their opponents' mistakes. With Croatia drawn with Belgium 0-0 in the first Group F game, Morocco finished first in the group and will face the second place finishers in Group B, which is made up of Japan, Spain, Germany and Costa Rica. Meanwhile, Canada, who are exiting the first World Cup since 1986 without a point, automatically qualify for the 2026 tournament as co-host alongside with the United States of America and Mexico.
I think a lot of things happened in 1986,
Mm.
and then it reminds me of what happened also in 1986, where Nigeria was the last African team to actually qualify top of their group in the World Cup. And so, after a very very long time, you're seeing Morocco coming back to that standard at top. No one gave them that opportunity. No one gave them for a group, talking about Group F, that had the likes of the number two when it comes to world ranking, men's ranking, talking about Belgium, and also having the finalist of the last edition in Russia 2018 World Cup. You would agree with me that no one saw Morocco coming out of that group. If there was anything, it was going to be second. But fortunately for them, they put their head so high, and then they came out as the first position. So it's a whole lot of action, and I think that's what the World Cup has actually delivered for us so far. I'm still talking about delivering for the World Cup. We saw also in Group E a lot of actions emerged. We saw Germany being knocked out of the World Cup at the same time. Now, Germany are going out of the World Cup for the second consecutive time, and then we would see, talking about that team who have actually done well for themselves, Japan, as well as talking about Spain, progress from Group E away from that group. Now, what would you make of this?
Well, I'm very, very shocked that Japan will come out to top that group. When I saw that group, I didn't really consider the Japanese as a serious side, but they came into the party and shocked themselves and even shocked the world by becoming top of that group, where you have Spain, Germany, or Japan emerging top of the group. So it shows you that they have a lot to offer when it comes to international men's football. But let's hope
which will be hosted in the United States of America, in Mexico, as also well in Canada. They are saying there are possible there would be a penalty shootout to decide when group stages are tied, to avoid things that are currently happening at the Mundial down there in Qatar. Hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed rather, to make sure that we bring to you what unfolds and what will be the final decision of FIFA concerning group matches where we see both countries being tied in the group stages. And then before we go, we also bring a sad news is the fact that Brazilian legend, talking about Pelé, has been hospitalized once again and definitely suffering a colon 2 a quick recovery, and hoping that he would definitely come join us even as we continue to enjoy the Mundial. A lot of actions also still continues today in the World Cup. Hopefully Brazil, Cameroon, we're just hoping things doesn't go down. But we've seen two African countries, talking about Senegal and Morocco, qualifying for the round of 16.
That's right, and also Ghana will have a chance to take a revenge on Uruguay today later on by 4 p.m. And of course, we recall what happened in 2010 where Uruguay stopped them from advancing. That's the much you can take on today's edition of Sports Recap on your darling station, Hughes TV. I still remain Ainan Luben.
And also do not